This is one of those conspiracy theory videos that I'm almost afraid to post because the stuff that these people are talking about is real serious. No laughing matters. Let's begin.
Epstein Files Part 2. This shit gets crazy, so sit back, relax, get your snacks. So in part 1, I mentioned Obama and his staff was mentioned in the files, but get this, Epstein had an email back in 2013 where he was in support of a new rising star named Hakeem Jeffries, in which they call him Brooklyn Obama, but I like to call him Dollar Tree Obama. So compromise, I say yes, let's keep moving. Also in part 1, I mentioned Obama's staff member was talking to Epstein about a cook who can wait, in which could have been Obama chef who died, but could it be this chef who was actually the chef for the Clintons who died a year later from that email? Either way, it seems like being a White House chef is a hazardous job. But it gets even wilder. It turns out that Jeffrey Epstein was in contact in real time with this representative of the Virgin Islands, Stacey Plaskett.
Driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that...
Now, obviously, Trump knew Epstein and all the nefarious shit he was doing, but here's the thing. If Epstein had all this dirt on Trump, why did he need an inside man to influence during an impeachment? But here's the part where it really gets spooky.
Of matters first, I wanted to introduce into the record page 55 from the committee's interview with FBI employee Roya Demlow.
Now that video was from 2019 at a congressional hearing in which this woman was mouthing the same words at the same time as Plaskett under some mind control shit. And I even had to fact check this myself saying, is this AI generated or altered? And AI said, it is not AI generated or deepfake at all. What the hell is going on? Now, if you guys remember in part 1, he was heavily invested into bioengineering and eugenics, but maybe, just maybe, he was also into MK Ultra as well. And if you guys were wondering who that was, her name is Christina Kelsey, in which he has a lot of ties to the DOJ, so there's that. Then there's this weird ass video in the files from 2018.
Charlie, ma chi è quello lì? Ma ti piace questo pupazzotto?
So you mean to tell me there's a dog named Charlie chewing on a Trump toy with Hillary Clinton next to him? I'll let you guys run with that one. Then Trump himself says he wants the Epstein files to be released. First he said it was a hoax. Now he says he wants it to be released. So I guess we'll see. Now there's a lot more than that, but make sure you guys go to my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, because I'm gonna do a deeper breakdown on this, but let me know what you guys think below.
I gotta ask y'all the serious question. Do you all believe that the Epstein files will ever be released? And if so, because this is what I believe, if they release something, it's gonna be like every other classified document that they have ever released before, where they censor out all the important stuff. Like what they were actually doing on the island, who was doing what to who on the island, all the good juicy stuff that we want to know. They're gonna have copies of it, but they're not gonna allow us to see it publicly. That's what I believe. What do you believe? Comment down below.
Who are all of these shooters and what do they have in common? Whether it's Tyler Robinson, Thomas Crooks, or Robin Westman. Is it possible that these individuals could be manipulated by intelligence to carry out these evil acts? Watch this.
Murders. Bluebird in 1948-49 morphed into Artichoke, and then in 1952 became MK Ultra. It was a mind control program, a brainwashing program. The CIA was trying to learn how to control people's behavior without their knowledge. Now, this is all came out in Senate and congressional hearings in the 70s. It was exposed, but nobody knew about it until 1974 when Seymour Hersh, the New York Times reporter, reported it on the front page of the paper. So their main objective was to create what they called hypno-programmed assassins, people who would kill on command, popularly known as Manchurian Candidates, after a book that was written in 1962 and later became a movie and then a movie again. The people would be, through drugs and hypnotism, the objective was to get people to go and commit an act of murder against their moral code and have no memory of their programming and be amnesic even of the act after the fact often.
That's crazy. And just a little food for thought. As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
I do believe that in some cases, kind of like the Kennedy assassination, that MK Ultra had something to do with it. But in this recent case with Charlie Kirk, yeah, I believe something a little different.
Are you having a hard time believing the ridiculous narrative about Charlie Kirk and what happened to him? Great, me too, because it's embarrassing. Let me show you some footage of Charlie's security detail, specifically this man with these meta AI shades on that'll make you question this ridiculous narrative even more so. So there he is. He turns on his shades right there. He's filming. Charlie gets hit. Rest in peace. Reacts. Goes up to the body. There we go. The handoff right there. You see everyone bum rushing the stage, and right there, handoff. There's a handoff to a gentleman in a shirt. So just to recap, right there, he is taking something from Charlie, which people think is the lav mic that had the explosive device in it, handing it off to this guy. See, everybody's rushing the stage. He has one job. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Instead of caring about making sure Charlie's okay, his first reaction is to pull something away, to get something off of Charlie, to give it to the guy in the black shirt, who then knows exactly what to do with it and runs off with it. I mean, if you're security detail, you think that the first thing you want to do is deal with Charlie and what's happening to Charlie. His first reaction was, let me get this suspicious thing off of Charlie and give it to this guy who knew exactly what to do. I'm sorry, it's pretty obvious. We need to ask more questions of Meta AI Shades guy over here, because not only does he have high-def footage of Charlie right after he was hit, but why the coordinated movement, right? If I'm handing something off to somebody in the midst of what seems to be chaos, how does that person know exactly what to do with that piece that I just gave him, like the guy in the black shirt who ran off? This guy knew what to take off of Charlie, when to take it off, and who to give it to. The whole Charlie narrative of Tyler Robinson is disintegrating, and the FBI should be embarrassed because they're acting in the typical FBI fashion. We need accountability, especially from this FBI and this administration.
Accountability is not what we need. We need answers. You would have to be blind to not see what we all just saw right there. It's very clear that as soon as he went over there to Charlie, he picked up something off of Charlie and handed it to somebody. That was orchestrated. They were waiting for that moment to happen. Neither one of those two guys were tending to Charlie to make sure that he was okay. What in the world is going on, y'all? There's a lot that they're not telling us. But Candace Owens, on the other hand, thinks she knows exactly what's going on because she's been searching for the truth.
Candace Owens is being called crazy again after she reported this weekend that she had inside information that the French government had put out a hit on her life. But this isn't the first time that she has been doubted. In 2020, Candace called out the Black Lives Matter organization, particularly their co-founders, for allegedly siphoning donation funds into personal luxuries like multi-million-dollar mansions. She was widely mocked and called a conspiracy theorist, but in 2022, it was uncovered that $90 million in donations were misused. Before P. Diddy's home was raided by the FBI and he was arrested, Candace claimed that he was involved in a Hollywood sex ring trafficking operation. She was described as paranoid and sensational and deranged, but we all know how that turned out. In early 2020, she questioned the origins of COVID, Dr. Fauci's narrative, and the Wuhan lab. She was branded as dangerous anti-science by CNN and the New York Times. But in 2023, our intelligence agencies reported that it was most likely a lab leak funded by the NIH grants at the Wuhan Institution of Virology. And now, most recently, Candace has alleged that France's First Lady, Brigitte Macron, was actually born a biological male, and has highlighted the fact that Brigitte was 39 years old when she met Emmanuel, her student, at age 14 when they started dating. Earlier this year, Trump had called her and asked her to stop this investigation. And now, more recently, Emmanuel and Brigitte have expanded their lawsuit against Candace. That has not made her stop talking. So, is it possible that Candace is right once again and the French government was trying to silence her in a different way? This morning, she reported that both the White House and our counterterrorism agencies have confirmed receipt of what I reported publicly. Emmanuel Macron attempted to organize my assassination per a source close to the couple. She goes on to say that for those of you who doubted my claims, you can now look to the President of the United States and our intelligence communities to issue a statement to confirm whether or not I am telling the truth. Now, I don't know about you, but she's got a pretty good track record. How do you think this is going to shake out? As always, I want to hear down below.
I don't agree with everything that comes out of Candace Owens' mouth, but I do agree with a lot of what she says. And when I tell y'all that this woman be knowing, she be knowing. For her to say something as drastic, as severe as, yeah, they got a hit out on me, it didn't come out of left field. Let's just say that. She received some inside information from some inside sources that let it be known to her that, hey, they're trying to take you out because they don't like what you're saying about them. Y'all, this compilation only gets crazier and crazier. Let's take a brief break to announce the sponsor of today's video.
It's me. I'm the sponsor of today's video. You like this hoodie? So do I. Well, this hoodie and everything else on my website is available right now for the biggest Black Friday sale that I have ever done. 50% off the entire website. And yes, I autograph everything. Okay, maybe not everything, but everything that I can autograph, I do autograph. Supplies is very limited. Once it's gone for good. So you better get it because I won't be restocking any of it. Thank you and happy shopping and happy holidays.
This is insane. So apparently there was an entire thread in Eyes Wide Shut that was completely deleted. The thread that exposes the elites, their whole pedophilia ring, and like the top of the chain of the Epstein list. So there's an entire thread in the movie that's been suppressed, and it's these two men that we see in the background throughout the film. But if you pay attention to the ending scene, these two men walk out with their child. They've given their daughter to the pedo cult. She walks away and it's so eerie, and they're taking her.
It's missing a narration. It's missing a third-person narration that was originally in the movie. That's because the movie was recut and changed after his death, and they will deny it. But as a student of Kubrick, I'm watching the movie and I'm like, oh, Kubrick wouldn't do that. Kubrick wouldn't do that either. And Kubrick would have trimmed this scene.
They finished it.
Well, that's the party line. That's a version, that's the party line. But
24 minutes have been cut from the movie. Kubrick was trying to tell us something, like everything actually.
And so maybe they just kind of clutched it together, except there's an entire thread that's kind of been squashed in that film, and that's the two men that are throughout the movie that are constantly in the background of the film, who eventually in the final shots of the film you see, like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman in that final scene in the toy store when she's looking at the Rosemary's Baby bassinet, which is totally Kubrick saying something, and they never take their eyes off their daughter until the moment they take their eyes off and the final line of the movie is coming up. You see those two guys walking off with the daughter. They're taking her away. They've given their daughter to the pedo cult. That's what's happened at the end of the movie.
Cinema has always been a way to reveal the truth, to reveal the unspeakable truth through art.
Helen is going to be up soon. She's expecting us to take her Christmas shopping today.
So when they first screened the movie in England, this is what happened.
And there's an incident where when they first screened the movie in England, there were people who were outside of the theater who could hear inside of the theater Kubrick yelling at all the executives and saying, "It's my movie, you can't cut it. You can't fucking cut my film, blah, 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 blah." Big argument going on. Then he dies like 4 days later.
That's why art is so powerful. It's never not political, ever. What's up with that laughing, bro? Like, what? You know some shit went down. Quentin can't say shit. Because he'll be next.
If I haven't seen that movie enough times as it is, now I have to go back and watch it again and pay close attention to those two older guys that's in the background. Oh, I thought I was done with this movie. It traumatized me enough as it is. But there's another movie that I need to watch. As a matter of fact, we're going to watch that movie on my Patreon. Make sure y'all subscribe. And then there's another movie about conspiracy theories that we need to watch too, that I'm not even going to tell y'all about yet. Just be on the lookout. It's going to be on there.
I think he's part of the shadow government that really never goes away.
Yeah.
I don't even think he's dead.
I saw you talk about that.
At all.
So you think they got him out of there?
I think they got him out of there. How does the camera go out the night he dies, the guard falls asleep all at the same time? Like, you have to really just...
That's not a coincidence.
That's not a coincidence, right? And then, like, if you look at the person that they wheeled out, there's pictures of it. It doesn't even look like him. It looks like he had, like, some type of, like, makeup, and it doesn't even look like him. So it's just a lot of odd things. I think he's still running things from his island.
Same island or different island?
You know what? It's the same island, because if you look into who actually bought the island, it's some random billionaire who wants to make it into a resort now. I think he has connections to Epstein, because not only that, you're buying a crime scene, and it's kind of like the same thing that Lex Wexner did with Obama's house. He bought his house through a trust. Now, Lex Wexner actually was Epstein's right-hand man, who, you know, Epstein, after Lex Wexner stepped down, he handed his entire fortune to Epstein. So I think these people are buying crime scenes trying to cover.
Look, I'm starting to believe that Epstein is alive as well, probably hiding out on his own island, because us regular civilians don't get access to it. Why not ban him, shun him to his own freaking freak off land? Hell, and just hire some slaves to go over there and feed him and keep him clean and rub him down and give him massages. Look, ain't no telling. But it would be foolish of us to think that his island was the first, the only, hell, the main hub for some freak off mess like what they proclaimed was happening there. Look at this. A friend of mine sent me this yesterday, and this is supposed to make Epstein's island looks like child's play. No pun intended. You thought Epstein Island was bad. Wait until people find out about this place. Investigate Getty Museum, a pedo fortress with more than 12 floors underground. 2 million women and children were there in 2018. That's what, 6 years ago. There are elevators and practically a city down below with thousands of sex slaves. Only people on the A-list can walk all over this place. The elevators lead to a tunnel system. It is guarded with high security. It is a hell created within another hell. Epstein Island is just the tip of the iceberg. Welcome to reality.
So apparently you can reserve space at Disneyland Paris if you want to get married there. As you can imagine, this happens often. So when employees learned that there was a scheduled wedding in front of the Sleeping Beauty castle this past Saturday, nothing seemed off. That is until they saw the bride. What was wrong with the bride, you ask? She was 9. Getting ready to marry a 22-year-old man. Employees immediately called police. So police show up and start questioning everyone there. And by everyone, I mean the bride, the would-be groom, the mother of the 9-year-old girl, and 100 guests that had shown up. This would-be groom tells police it was just a skit for social media. It wasn't real. It was fake. It was just something they were going to do and then post as rage bait. It says, in fact, the attending guests were just paid actors, and the mother of this child is totally on board with the idea. But then police learned something interesting. This groom had spent $150,000 to reserve the spot at Disney. Not only that, but the wedding was supposed to take place outside of business hours so the public wouldn't witness it. Thankfully, police called BS and arrested the 22-year-old man, the little girl's 41-year-old mother, and 2 other women aged 24 and 55 who were involved in the planning. Something tells me this was absolutely not a skit, and saying it was a skit was part of the cover-up if they got caught. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Sick. Beyond sick. Hell, everyone in attendance should have been arrested. All 100 plus people there. Are you kidding me? What kind of mess? Disneyland, Disney World, whichever resort it was, how did they not know? I guess maybe this dude just booked the reservation and said it's a wedding and they just ran with it. Like, was there no staff involved? I got so many questions. That's sick. Sorry that I had to subject y'all to that, but I came across that and I had to share it. Whew.
Remember that model in LA who was screaming in the streets that she had just escaped a cannibal party? Yeah, she was never seen again after this, but that's not a real thing. They don't eat people. Well, the Human Meat Project isn't even on the dark web. Like, you can look this up. Come on, this is fake. The Cannibal Club, who focuses on the cuisine of the taboo. Humans, and this is the staff, and this is the founder, who I wasn't expecting to be a blonde white woman, but somehow it makes sense. This is one of the chefs who served an endangered bird to the president of France, Francois, on his last meal. Endangered bird? I don't think that's allowed. And here's the art director. His name is Hiro. He hires the talent to entertain guests. What type of entertainment do they have at the Cannibal Club? Well, this week is Diamanda Gala, who is a performance artist who's musical, but she also speaks in tongues. It says that she speaks in tongues. This lady, what's her background? Do you know? She's always been around music. Her father was a gospel choir director. Okay, then this has nothing to do with anything satanic. Like, she's just an artist. So what on the menu would you order? The penne pasta with meat sauce? The liver and mushroom parati? I'm not fancy enough to know how to say that. But what would you order? The placenta lasagna? I don't know. I like the Russian pierogies a lot. It's savory filling of human meat. They're paying homage to the dead, though, so I'm sure it's okay. The sirloin steak is not from an animal. No. And if they're doing this, like, in public, like, on a public page, what the do you think they're doing in private?
Yo, whoever that lady is that just talked to us, I like whatever's wrong with her. She's funny. But no, I've been to that Cannibal website. It is 100% real, 100% disturbing, and 100% terrifying. Who is they cooking and cutting up and eat? You know what? This world is evil. It's real evil. Speaking of evil,
the reason why you don't steal in Korea.
I entirely beg you, for the government of the DPR Korea, for your forgiveness. I have made the worst mistake of my life.
The story about Otto Warmbier. He's a college student in America, and he went there to like do adventure groups. So he would like link up with Korean children, I think, and just do like adventures with them, right? Yeah. So trip was going blessed. He goes into the airport and he gets stopped. He's like, I did my due diligence in this country. Like, I'm about to go home. They said, let me see your backpack. Fam, he stole like a propaganda picture, and this was an NK. You know what I mean? North Korea, they don't play around like that, right? They literally put him in handcuffs and they brought him to like a court right away. Oh, really? Yeah, they broadcasted his whole confession. Damn. Like, it was really humiliation.
I have been very impressed by the Korean government's humanitarian treatment of severe criminals like myself.
They said, okay, for you to go, we need 17 years of hard labor in Korea before you dip.
That's what he's doing to this day.
No. Plot twist now.
What happened?
Plot twist. He does 17 months of work. He goes under a coma under unknown circumstances.
Oh my God.
Then mans in Korea say, oh, you're allowed to go back because you're in a coma. Boom, he gets back to his country. The doctors say he's in a vegetative state, almost about to die. He gets back to the US. 3 days after, passes away.
Otto Warmbier has just passed away, but at least we got him home to be with his parents.
What? Because he took a little piece of paper? Oh my God. Huh? I mean, they were going to give this man 17 years to basically be a slave. And then they was going to allow him to go back home. He worked 17 months and then fell into a mysterious coma. I think they killed that boy. I ain't gonna say nothing about North Korea. Y'all, look, North Korea, I ain't got no beef with you, nothing at all.
There's footage that resurfaced from the Met Gala about someone from the royal family. What? Princess Beatrice. Okay. And people are saying she looks a little bit too much like a robot here. Almost like she's not real. You already know they have a lot of money, a lot of access to things that aren't accessible to regular people. Yeah. Theory is this was a test to see if we'd be comfortable with fake people in public. People are saying something is a bit off here.
This girl is still like healthy and living, right? But they just wanted to test. Oh, that's a robot.
Something going on, right?
No human.
She could be. It's not real.
Or she could just be a creepy person. That's also a possibility. You saw the eyes on her? Regardless of them trying to make a duplicate robotic version of her, she got them eyes for real, for real.
Turns out that Tyler Robinson didn't just change his outfit before the Charlie Kirk assassination, but now it looks like he changed his backpack too. Newly released Ring camera footage shows that Tyler Robinson's backpack when he's walking the neighborhood is nothing other than Here's another picture of it from the porch, and as you can see, it is clearly blue, which doesn't match the black backpack that Tyler Robinson was wearing before he got on the roof and fired those shots at Charlie, allegedly. And here's a better footage that the FBI has shown over and over. And as you can see, Tyler's hat is blue and the backpack matches the shirt, which is black. Now, blue backpack or black backpack, it still doesn't explain how you fit this vintage rifle into either one of them. And let's not forget, we're up to 3 outfit changes if you count the Dairy Queen footage where he has a mix and match situation where he's wearing the maroon shirt again, but the long pants. And a lot of people are saying that Lance Twiggs, Tyler Robinson's significant other, looks a lot more like the individual walking the street than Tyler Robinson does. But we can't ask him to find out because remember, he's just disappeared. So is Tyler Robinson just an excited bride on his wedding day giving you multiple outfit changes? Or are there multiple people that we are being told is Tyler Robinson? As always, let me know what you think about all of this down below.
Not only do I believe that they're trying to proclaim that multiple people are Tyler Robinson, but I also believe that none of them are the shooter. Oops. Did I say that? Everybody thinks it. Come on now. We ain't stupid, is we? No, it was an inside job. This was definitely, okay, let me not say definitely, allegedly orchestrated. By who? I don't even want to tell y'all who I think it is. This channel's too public for that.
This is wild. Salt Lake City KUTV is now reporting that the surveillance footage of Tyler Robinson turning himself into authorities is missing. 2 News filed a public records request asking for this footage, and they got this response. Quote, "We do not have any records responsive to this portion of the request as Tyler Robinson did not go to or enter the jail area." Which is weird because it was public national news that Tyler Robinson surrendered at the sheriff's office. He was taken into a building marked authorized personnel only. Robinson was kept in the back offices of the sheriff's office and turned over to the FBI and other law enforcement upon their arrival just before 6 a.m. on Friday. So where is this footage? And remember, authorities knew that he was turning himself in because they had negotiated a gentle surrender. So you have to wonder now, did it ever exist? Were cameras turned off? Or did this footage go missing? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
If you know me well enough, then you should already know my reason as to why they couldn't surrender over that footage. Is because the footage doesn't exist. That whole thing about him turning himself in, made up, orchestrated. Why would there be footage of him turning himself in? Of course they can't deliver any footage of him turning himself in because he didn't do it. Come on now. Duh. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Allegedly.
Yesterday, the Trump administration shut down all of the fake news stories. News reports that Kash Patel will be fired on December 15th. Nope, Trump thinks he's doing a great job. Media reporting that Doge has shut down? Nope, fake news, they're going to be back on Friday. Marco Rubio entered the chat to report that NBC is 100% giving you a fake story about the war in Ukraine. Vice President J.D. Vance doubled down that the media is lying to you. But when it came to the biggest story in the world, that the French government has put out a hit on Candace Owens, all we got was... Which makes me wonder, if they went on a campaign calling out the fake news and they didn't call this fake, does that mean that it is in fact true? If so, that would further legitimize all of the claims that Candace Owens has been making about Charlie Kirk's assassination. But if they do that, it would put their guy that's doing a great job in a really tough position. No matter what, our intelligence and this administration should be addressing Candace's claims, but they should especially be doing it when they're going out of their way to debunk every other news story that is out there. So, is there a reason they aren't addressing this story, or are they just what the French call les incompetents? As always, I want to hear what you think about all of this down below.
They wonder why it's becoming more and more difficult to get the citizens of the United States to trust and believe in the government. It's because they're keeping so much from us. Who? To protect their own interests, of course. That's always what it has been and always what it will be. But what about our interest? But it's obvious as to why stuff is being kept from us, because there's shady business being conducted.
Welcome back to the Great Pyramid series. This is episode 2. But before we explore the theories, it's important that we understand something. There's this common belief that if we wanted to, we could easily rebuild the Great Pyramid today, using modern machines, cranes, computers. But the truth is, it wouldn't be nearly that easy. You see, the Great Pyramid was built over 1,000 years before the wheel was ever used for transport in Egypt. And even with our modern tools, moving stones of that size is still a serious challenge. In modern experiments trying to move stones of similar size, heavy machinery has strained or even failed under the load. And let's say we even the playing field, using only tools and systems that were available to them back then. We wouldn't even know where to start. They didn't have metal chains or steel saws, only copper chisels, solarite hammers, and wooden sleds. Even modern experiments using the same copper tools showed that they quickly dulled or even broke when used on hard stone. Now, when it comes to how the pyramids were built, almost everything that we know is still theory, including the stuff that we were taught in school. For an example, there have never been any mummies that have been found in the Great Pyramids. There are no hieroglyphics that have been found in the Great Pyramid itself. And originally, these pyramids didn't look anything like what we see them as today. They were once covered in polished white limestone and likely topped with a golden capstone, something that just shimmered for miles in the desert. Then, over thousands of years, earthquakes and erosion stripped away that outer layer, leaving behind the rough, weathered stone that we see today. It is one of the most unbelievable feats in human history. Full disclaimer, the theories that we're going to explore today do not reflect my personal beliefs. Let's check it out. One of the most intriguing theories is that Egyptians used sound itself to move the stones. The theory suggests that they discovered how to create low-frequency vibrations, powerful enough to reduce friction, using drums and sound bowls to make the massive blocks almost weightless. Some experiments today show that sound waves can shift small particles, and if scaled up, some believe this could allow ancient builders to float the stones across the desert without cranes or wheels. Now, there is no direct evidence to this, but it's one of the few ideas that tries to explain how we moved such weight with such precision. Next one. One of the most famous theories is that the pyramids were built with the help from something or someone not of this world. Aliens. With the pyramids aligning almost perfectly with Orion's belt, and each side faces true north, south, east, and west with near perfect accuracy, each block weighing nearly 70 tons. When you put all of that together, it's no wonder that some people believe that the help we got was beyond this earth. The theory suggests that extraterrestrial visitors may have shared advanced knowledge or even technology that allowed ancient builders to move stone in ways that we can't fully explain. And the next theory, the Great Pyramid wasn't built with ramps or cranes, but with water. Inside the pyramid, there are shafts and chambers that some researchers believe could have acted like a hydraulic system, pulling water from the Nile and pushing it upward through pressure and vibration. Look, these theories range from unbelievable to almost possible, but in the next episode, we're going to leave speculation behind. We're going to take a look at what engineers and scientists actually believed happened. So if you enjoyed this series, please be sure to like and comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Let me start off by saying, wow, he did a phenomenal job piecing that video together. The imagery in that video, such great work. But the theories behind how the pyramids were made, I'm not gonna lie, as much credit as I want to be able to give the Egyptians and the possible technology that they had of that time that we don't possess today, I still can't put it past the idea that they might have got some help from up above. Don't forget, Black Friday sale happening right now, 50% off, and you can own this high quality hoodie. Let's watch some more.
This is real footage of a man climbing the Great Pyramid in Giza, something that's illegal and could land you up to a month in jail. But this series isn't about climbing the pyramids. It's about the Great Pyramids themselves, and how to this day, we still aren't 100% sure on how they were even built. So, let's do a deep dive. The Great Pyramid was built over 4,500 years ago, and it contains more than 2.3 million limestone and granite blocks. Some of these stones weighing over 70 tons. That's about the same as 15 elephants stacked on top of each other in just one block. But here's the absolutely mind-blowing part. The entire base of the Great Pyramid, which covers an area of 6 football fields, is level within just 2 centimeters. Look at it this way. Imagine building a driveway that is 6 football fields long, and from one end to the other, it is level within the thickness of a pencil. Not only that, the sides of the Great Pyramid are lined up almost perfectly with true north, south, east, and west, only off by less than the width of your thumb. These builders aligned a 6 million ton monument with the planet itself. Engineers today would still struggle to achieve that level of accuracy, even with lasers, GPS, and modern tools. Now, around the same time the Great Pyramids were rising in Egypt, something just as mysterious was being built on the plains of England, Stonehenge. Each stone weighs up to 40 tons, and some were dragged more than 150 miles from quarries in Wales. And get this, they weren't just placed at random stacked in a circle. The entire circle lines up perfectly with the sunrise of the summer solstice and the sunset of the winter solstice. Imagine pulling that off 4,000 years ago. No GPS, no metal tools, no written math. High in the Andes Mountains of Peru is Machu Picchu. The stones there fit together so perfectly that you can't even fit a razor blade between them. There's no mortar, no glue, just hand-cut rock, carved to lock into each other just like a puzzle. And here's what's incredible. This design made it earthquake-proof. Every block could move slightly during a tremor and then fall right back into place. We're talking hundreds of years before modern engineering. They already had it figured out. And thousands of miles away on Easter Island, the Moai statues. Some of these weighing over 80 tons. They were somehow moved miles across this island. Now, locals say that these stones walked there, and scientists now believe that they may have been right, that ropes and rhythmic motion were used to literally rock them forward step by step. So from Egypt to England, from Peru to Easter Island, these ancient sites all share an impossible detail, precision and scale that are almost impossible by today's standards. How? In the next episode, we're going to explore every theory from reasonable to completely unbelievable. And then in episode 3, we'll see what the scientists and engineers actually believe what could have happened. Because somewhere between the mystery and logic, the truth has to exist. If you guys want to stay up to date on this series, please be sure to like and follow for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.
So I definitely had the order of those 2 videos incorrect. My apologies. Nonetheless, the content was still great. But it just goes to show you, like, what we were capable of back then was so great that we can't even understand how to replicate it today, or even more so how they were capable of such feats. And it's kind of a good thing. It's kind of cool that we don't know. It's like, what happened in history that caused information to just kind of come to a halt, to the point where no one of our generation knows what happened and how it happened. It just goes to show you, any and everything before a certain time period, yeah, we honestly don't know much about at all. Like, we got a lot wrong. It's like there was a rift in the space-time continuum, and nothing is quite what we thought it to be, or even know it to once be. Definitely explains why there's so many different Mandela effects that have popped up throughout the decades. Let's watch some new ones.
Apparently this guy found 6 new Mandela effects.
Top 6 changes of animals in this timeline. Number 1, cow tipping. Cow tipping is not a thing. You cannot cow tip. There's no evidence of you can cow tip. Apparently, that is not a thing in this timeline. It's never been documented. It's not a thing. It changed in this timeline. Number 2, horses can have mustaches. Yes, in this timeline, horses can have mustaches. Sometimes they shave them off. It's a thing, but they do have mustaches. Also, horses do not have round eyes. They have horizontal eyes. They do not have round eyes in this timeline. Apparently, we all just misremembered that because in this timeline, they do not have round eyes. The bald eagle is America's national bird. When did it become the national bird? How about last year, December of 2024 to be exact? That is when it became official that the bald eagle was America's national bird. In this timeline, there are Civil War camels. Yes, the camels fought in the Civil War. We have American camels and they're here. They've been here since the Civil War, and there's actually famous ones in this timeline. I did not know that. Number 6, it is Smokey Bear. It is not Smokey the Bear. Apparently, it's always been Smokey Bear.
They can kiss my black... You know what? It's always been Smokey the Bear. The Bear. The Bear. Smokey the Bear. Smokey Bear. What? Yeah, there's definitely some things about this timeline that I don't like. Who's with me?
Is a terrifying reason why toddlers are obsessed with Cocomelon. If your kid's watching this, you need to watch this video. This cartoon has been engineered to get kids addicted to this. They use 2.5 cuts per second, maxed out brightness, looping melodies that all hijack dopamine. This is the equivalent to kids scrolling on TikTok, destroying their dopamine receptors, and frying their attention span. This is why these toddlers will start to freak out after this is turned off. You think that this show calms them down? It doesn't. They are hypnotized, quite literally. It gets even better. The show is owned by Moonbug Entertainment, which is controlled by ex-Disney executives and backed by, you guessed it, BlackRock. This is real parenting. This is what your kids should be doing. Just playing outside, running in the grass, barefoot, connected to the earth, watching real life, watching the butterflies and the birds and the bees, and just being in this beautiful environment, marveling in God's creation. Most parents had them sitting in front of TVs or iPads, destroying their brains because you guys are brainwashed. You want to raise the next generation of beautiful light beings? Then stop putting them in front of this shit. Any TV program for that matter. Shame on all of you parents that are raising iPad kids. Peace and love.
I ain't gonna lie. Every single time I'm out in public and I see a family sitting at a table and there's an iPad or a tablet of any sort sitting in front of any of the kids' faces at the table, it irks my soul. I will not be that parent. The fact that you got to put and I know some of y'all are watching. Some of y'all are that parent. You're watching. The fact that you got to put a device in front of your child's face so that they can stay still and stay calm at the table. You the problem. Understand? I want you to understand. You are the problem. Because if you would have never given it to them in the first place to be that consumed by this device, then you wouldn't find the need to use it at the dinner table to keep them calm and relaxed. The food should be enough for that. Hell, before the food get there, talk to your child. Engage with your child. Interact with your baby. Oh, they is not gonna like me for this one. They definitely not gonna like me for this next one. Watch this.
You gotta watch this.
I asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, and maybe you are, if you were the devil, what would you do? And the answer that came back at me shook me in my shoes. I wouldn't waste my time trying to get you to worship me. No, I just convince you not to worship God at all. I'd tell you truth is relative. Your truth, my truth, until nobody knows which way is up. I'd whisper, as long as you're happy, it's right. I'd keep you busy. Too busy for prayer, too busy for church, too busy for crew. I put that one in. Too busy to ask eternal questions. I'd fill your hands with a phone so you'd never have time to fold them in prayer. I'd break families, get fathers absent, marriages bitter, and kids confused. If I can fracture the home, I can fracture the future. I divide the church, petty arguments, comparison, offense, celebrity culture. If I can get Christians fighting each other, they'll never fight me. I'd desensitize you. I'd glamorize sin in movies, normalize it in music, laugh at it in comedy, and celebrate it in culture until what once shocked you now entertains you. I'd attack your identity. I'd make you question who you are, where you belong, and whether you matter. I'd whisper shame so loud you can't hear God's voice of love. And through it all, I wouldn't even try to prove I exist. My greatest trick is to convince you I'm not real. Because if you don't believe I'm real, you'll never resist.
Woo! That about gave me the chills, y'all. Sure, ChatGPT stole that from a book somewhere back in the early 1900s. But nonetheless, if that's not everything that we're seeing today, my God, it's no wonder so many people live a life of emotional turmoil because they're living a life that aligns with exactly what he just outlined here. Let's say that everything that he just stated was the devil's plan, where he decided to give up on trying to convince you of his existence, but instead to allow all these vices to reel you in to the point where it doesn't even matter whether or not you believe in him, because you live a life that aligns with exactly what he wanted for you. If you made it this far into the video, comment down below, I made it. And also state what you're thankful for on this Thanksgiving Day. What you're grateful for, what you're appreciative for. Comment down below.
Yo, did you hear the theory behind 6'7"?
Oh, it's demonic.
It's demonic.
Yeah.
The guy that made the song.
I know he died. 6'7". I just bit right on the highway.
He does Santeria.
Skrilla, yeah.
Yeah, there's pictures of him like holding goat heads up.
Yeah.
Animals.
I'm a Santo. I do palo. I sacrifice goats, chickens, mice.
Damn, this is like real witchcraft.
Yeah, that has 6 in his, I think religion means
6 is Ogun in the song, and number 7 in Santeria represents Yemeya. He worships Ogun and Yemeya.
The theory is 6'7" is supposed to be something that we don't understand, but it conjures almost a spirit.
Why is it called 6'7"?
That's just what my brain thought of when I was making the song. 6'7".
There's no like special meaning like behind it. It's just
6'7".
Another rapper made a song with 6 and 7. You know who it was? He's been known to like sacrifice. Yeah, bro. Lil Wayne. 6 foot, 7 foot, 6 foot.
Anytime anyone has the need to want to sacrifice anything, it's never for a good reason. Never for a righteous one, at least. It's always something demonic. Now, I thought the whole 6'7" thing was just something that kids were saying. I didn't know that it came directly from this song. I thought this song was created after the phrase or the term or the trend became popular. That right there is just another way that the devil tries to work his way into people's lives and them be completely unaware of how and what he is doing. And the fact that trend was kind of branded to kids. It's like all these kids picked up on it first. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Performance, but there's actually something a lot darker happening here. Allegedly filmed in the 90s, hence the video quality, and before AI generated videos were a thing. But obviously AI can intentionally generate videos to look blurry, grainy, and like they were filmed in the 90s. We genuinely don't know what's real and what's AI generated anymore, and this is sparking some huge debates online. People saying these shapeshifters were performing some sort of ritual for the elites, and others that it's definitely 100% AI. Grok AI on X couldn't seem to make up its mind, telling us it's authentic 90s footage one moment and oh, never mind, it's actually AI generated the next. So I took matters into my own hands and popped this video into an online AI video detector, which told us it's 99.85% not AI generated, so it's real. And then it told us it's 99.83% AI generated when I ran it again. It also doesn't seem to be able to make up its mind. This is actually very concerning. If AI video detectors can no longer tell us what's real and what's AI generated, we can't prove anything anymore. AI videos are going to be thought to be real, and real videos are going to be thought to be AI. Nothing is real anymore. You can take a video of the most incredible, mind-blowing thing you've ever seen, and no one will ever believe you.
There's a reason why I put this clip towards the end of this video, because it's very disturbing. Even though I 100% believe that was AI generated, but the fact that you have AI software that can't detect whether it is reading other AI software or not, that's a problem. That goes to show you that this AI generated content probably needs to come to an end. It probably does. Yeah, I use it, but not like that.
Well, we all knew this day was coming, and
It's officially here. Google just released Nano Banana Pro, and it is 100% indistinguishable from reality. But the realism isn't even the impressive part. I uploaded a photo of this talking headshot and I asked for a 3D lo-fi diagram of the lighting setup. It nailed it. I mean, the angles of the lights, the camera positioning, insane. So logically, the next step was to ask for Steve Jobs on the Joe Rogan podcast. And this is where we see the realism. I mean, it is perfect. No more imperfections. So I asked for 10 more unique angles of this shot, except I wanted to replace Jobs with Genghis Khan. Absurd. I mean, the character consistency, the understanding of physics, the text accuracy, and a native 2K output with 4K upscaling. This is the first AI image model that feels truly production ready. I mean, it's unbelievable. You could try it yourself right now on Higgsfield, who generated these images to further illustrate how realistic this is. But let me show you one last thing. Nano Banana Pro has incredible Google ecosystem knowledge, including geolocation rendering. So I gave it the coordinates to the Burj Khalifa, but I asked to see it at sunset in 1990. Again, even the cars are era specific. It's a remarkable model. It's ultra fast. So give it a try. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. I got a feeling when Google Veo 4 launches, it's a wrap.
We didn't even make it into the new year yet before AI has become so good to the point where it's indistinguishable. We can't really, outside of that last clip that he used of Donald Trump running in the forest with a banana, that looked like AI. But all the rest of that stuff, man, I don't like this, not one bit.
Most people will never be able to zoom into the sun this close because it costs about a $40,000 setup with the lenses and fancy camera. This is not AI, this is the sun. Now, some will call it solar flares. All I know is this thing looks like a freaking organism. And if they're lying about the moon landing, if they're lying about space, if they're lying about the nature of our reality, then you can also imagine we may have been lied to about the sun. This is footage of the sun with a whole bunch of basically sunglasses on the freaking lens of the camera to be able to see it in detail. A ball of gas and fire, I'm not sure. It actually looks like a molecule or some type of organism with a microscope. And I don't think that this is 93 million miles away either. That is almost 100% guaranteed a complete lie. Now, the other thing is, if the Earth has its own consciousness, some people call it Gaia or Mother Earth, it has its own consciousness, microcosm to macrocosm, then would it make sense that the sun is an inanimate object, or that it too is sentient and some form or another living? Because crystals, Nikola Tesla said, are also living. We just don't understand them. I wonder. All I know is a ball of fire, I don't know, maybe it's pure light, perhaps it's a portal. Remember, you got to unlearn all the things you think you learned. Look at this frickin' thing, man. That's the sun.
The sun is something that has always fascinated me. Like, how could this big ball of light, of energy, of power, of heat just radiate in space for all of eternity? And I say all of eternity because for as long as mankind has existed, as far as we know. It's like, I don't understand. How hasn't it burnt out? How hasn't it lost its energy? How hasn't it lost its ability? I mean, it just goes to show you, whatever God you believe in is a mighty God, because God is keeping that thing active, and we need it.
People for
I don't drink a lot of sodas. I tasted the Baja Blast once, and it tastes like I thought it would, like diabetes. That pie looked like a diabetes pie, and amongst other things, because you might get some cancerous if you eat something like that. Folks be so foolish to consume this stuff. Hell, it's bad enough I'm gonna start eating meat again. What am I doing?
You guys, you may want to stop eating Campbell's soup. Like now. It turns out that this whistleblower and former employee of Campbell's Soup, Robert Garza, files a lawsuit against the company for disclosing this.
If I look at it, look at this. bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
Yeah, you heard that right. 3D printed chicken and bioengineered food, which can be easily verified if you just turn around the label. Says it right there, bioengineered food ingredients. Now that VP of Campbell Soup, Martin Bally, was referring to this. 3D printed meat involves growing animal cells in a lab using 3D printing to shape them into meat-like products. How is this legal? Well, that's because the FDA and the Department of Agriculture jointly regulates it as a novel food. Have you guys ever wondered why it's the Food and Drug Administration? Because one is the cause and the other is the solution. Now this raises a bigger question about our food supply because just McDonald's alone serves 6.5 million burgers per day. And if you put that with how many cows we produce, the numbers don't add up. But it gets even wilder. You guys, back in 2016, a company by the name of Clear Labs tested over 70 different fast food chains' burgers, and the results speak for themselves. Let's take a look, shall we? So we have 2 cases of meat being in vegetarian meat, no black bean in black bean burgers, over 4% of contaminated pathogenic DNA, 3 cases of rat DNA, 1 case of human DNA, and a partridge in a pear tree. I guess this is why they call it fast food, because this is the fastest way to get to the hospital. Make sure you guys get my detox programs, also get in my Telegram and my YouTube Maverick Approach, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
I really need to stop playing in detox. I really need to. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it before the end of the year. I'm detoxing. There's no black bean and black bean burger. How? You gotta be kidding me. At this point, I just need to get a hydroponic, whatever it's called, machine and grow all my own fruits and vegetables and stop eating meat again altogether, or go hunting myself and get my own meat. I ain't got no cows to hunt for in a while. You know what? We just gonna have to do the best that we can. But on a serious note, y'all, this stuff is really sad. I just got word today on Thanksgiving that a family member of mine is in the hospital, not looking too well. Fell into a diabetic coma. 65 years old. Youngest of his siblings. And I think of how old my relative that's in the hospital is. There's a 27-year gap between the two of us. I would like to have more than 27 more years left on this earth. Especially because I plan on having kids. I would like to see my kids have kids one day. They're really doing a fantastic job of taking out as many of us as they possibly can. Well, y'all, we're going to end the video right here. Leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. See ya.